We're just outside Blackpool, England, at the Great Eccleston show for the next round of the 2019 BTPA Tractor Pulling Championship. This is one of the UK's top agricultural shows, and the event hosts 2 days of tractor pulling on one of Europe's premier tracks. This is the third round of the year, coming just 2 weeks after the Kirkbride event that we saw last time. We have the second outing for the brand new limited Superstock class to look forward to, along with the Prostocks and the Light Modifieds. Forecast is for hot sunny weather, the fans are gathering on the bank, and the championship has already thrown up some surprise results. None more so than the ultra competitive limited Prostock class, and that is the class that we're going to start our coverage with. After 2 rounds, there are just 2 points between first and second, with Stephen Ainsworth's brand new machine, the Warrior, having already taken an event win. It could be quite a year.
The limited Pro Stock class has been the class to watch for the last few years, and the boys to watch on the top have been the true Blue Boys. But this year, Graham, you're kind of not having it all your way, are you?
No, we're certainly not. 2 weeks ago at Kirkbride, we came 4th. I think we're lucky to get a 4th. The way the class is going, there's probably 6 or 7 can win it now, and that's not including us. So, yeah, I mean, I think we are still leading the points marginally, but that could change after this weekend, certainly.
Last year, the Lancashire Bomber nipped you to the post. They were British champions, so it's all mixed up, which is great, and it's great for the sport. I mean, you're the first person to say, bring on the competition. It's what we want, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. The class is unbelievable to watch. To see that many different teams that could all win it. Nobody knows who's going to win any event. Nobody knows who's going to make it to the podium. And we were delighted for Chris. Obviously, we would have liked to win the championship. It was our home event at the last pool, but we were delighted for Chris to win it. Couldn't have happened to a nicer team, and whoever wins it this year, I'm sure they'll have earned it.
And let's talk about last weekend, 2 weekends ago at Kirkbride. Out of the blue, Steve, who's been having all these trouble with his old tractor, sold it on, built a brand new tractor, sort of first time really it took to the sledge properly in earnest. It had gone up to Scotland, had some teething problems, and just made you all look silly, really.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to try and take some credit for that, because we've said for a few seasons that's the engine you want to run, and he's took a bit of convincing, but I don't think he'll look back now.
Steve, welcome to Great Eccleston. Still smiling from Kirkbride, I'm guessing?
Yeah, absolutely. We're pleased with that. It's going to take a bit to knock us off a post now.
Yeah, Kirkbride was a great result for yourself. Obviously, their point, it was a really tricky track. There's lots of people struggling out of bounds, struggling to where you put your weight. Like, brand new machine, you've only been out with it once before. You just seem to dial it in. You had a bit of a rough ride, you back off, hit the brake, go again. But that's tractor pulling, and you took the win. Yeah,
absolutely. Just a bit of good luck, I think, Tom, but it can go anywhere today, can it?
Yeah, pressure's on though now. You're second in the points, which I bet you wouldn't have even dreamed of, would you, when you started building this machine?
No, definitely not. We thought sort of 2 or 3 years before we get anywhere near being competitive, but it's kind of happening.
10 tractors entered this weekend in limited Pro Stock, and many of them capable of taking the win on the day. First machine to the track is Skinny, usually driven by Onky Anchors. But apparently there's a new driver on board for this weekend.
Got the young lad on the wheel today. He's 16, first time on the seat, so he's looking forward to it. I think he's a little bit nervous, but he'll be all right.
Now, obviously, just tell the people at home, because as soon as you're old enough to drive a tractor, which is 16 years old, you can drive a tractor puller.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tom, I don't think you can move it around. You have to be towed to the sledge and off the sledge as such. He's. I remember taking him to Carmarthen when he was 2 years old. Watched the tractor pulling there, and he sat there and watched the tractors all day long, back and two, and now to see him on the seat, it's a proud moment.
So this is the first pull or the qualification round. We're looking for full pulls on this 100 metre track, putting the driver into the pull-off round. Elfie is test puller, which means his pull is used to ensure the sledge is set correctly for the class and the track conditions. And this looks just perfect all round for him, beautifully controlled and all the way to a full pull. Well done, Elfie. Well, that's a run he and Onky will remember for a very long time. On the replay, the sledge is spot on and he'll be delighted with his first ever competition pull. So that sets a target for everyone to beat. Over to you, Colin, in the commentary booth.
Thanks for that, Paul, and what a proud moment there for the Skinny team. Next out on track, and it's True Blue, Graham Simpson at the wheel. One of the tractors to beat for many years, current points leader after 2 rounds. Oh, that is a good looking run there for Graham. all the way. And that is a full pull. So we have a pull-off with 2 tractors already booking their places. Very stiff competition this weekend. Next up, it's G-Force and Giles Mostyn. Giles very at home now in BTPA competition with the limited Prostocks. One of the very popular Fordson major base tractors in the class. Builds a boost, very steady away from the line. Oh, he's on song now, getting well into the track. And yes, that makes it 3 into the pull-off. Giles there with another full pull. These guys are making it look easy, but there's a lot of skill goes into building the boost and slipping the clutch to get the tractor moving. Stuart Noblett now driving Red Mist. He knows exactly what he has to do. Get to the other end with no issues. Only a full pull will do if he wants his weekend to continue. Oh, he's starting to lift that front end. Bit of a bounce going on there as well, but he's settled into the run nicely. In fact, very nicely indeed. Ed waves the flag. That's far enough, and that is another full pull. Right, number 2 in the points coming into this event is Stephen Ainsworth with the Warrior. White smoke turns to black smoke. That means he's got the power on and the tractor starts to move forwards. Not building. Oh, it stopped completely there. Not going up or boost properly, and he manages just 2.68 metres. But because the tractor stopped before the 30 metre mark, he gets a chance to drop 6 places and come out later in the class. Nervous times there for the Warrior team. Right, Ed Bateman and Major Madness. Oh, absolutely no problems from him at all. Just veering off to the right there a little bit. But he's got it under control. The red flag waves once again. That is another full pull. We've still got 4 more tractors to come. Next up, it's Midnight Express with Matt Trow at the wheel. The crew backing him up to the Belgian sledge. The kill switch is coupled up, as is the chain. Now Matt needs to get metres under his belt as soon as he can before the weight box on the sledge moves to the front and eventually drags him down. Oh, bit of a scenic route there. But he straightens it out, and that's another full pull. 7 now into the pull-off. Well done, Matt. Last year's championship-winning tractor, it's the Lancashire Bomber.
Kurt Brad, you went out of bounds, didn't you? You were test puller, and then they changed the sledge, so you had to go back, and it was on song, it was doing the business, it was quite nose high, you got a bit of a rock and a roll on, and just fighting with the brakes, were you?
Yeah, it seemed to be a tricky track, and I know it's the same for all the rest of the class, but it was coming nose high really, but I suppose we could have moved some weight maybe, but it was too late. End of the day.
There's always maybes afterwards, but it's how you do on the day. But we know this old girl, it's British champion last year, so you've got it all to do now. You're a bit down on points because of Kurt Bride, so hoping for big things today.
Yeah, hopefully we can do something today and put a good show on, hopefully.
So Chris Wilkinson handing the reins of the Lancashire Bomber to Simon for this season. Well, bit of a leery ride for Simon there, but this tractor just keeps on pulling. He'll be hungry for points after only finishing 5th at the last round in Kurt Bride. And you know what? That's far enough for the Lancashire Bomber. It's another full pull. In replay then, the wheel's reaching for the skies, pulls it away from the white line though, and continues to the full pull. Nice one, Simon. Chris Brown up next on the New Holland-based tractor Dark Addiction. Keep everything crossed for the team on this run. The tractor had fueling issues at the last round and suffered a huge amount of engine damage. So have they put their problems behind them? Well, it's looking good so far. Yep, he's on an absolute stormer here. Actually a huge amount of speed as well. And yes, he's done it. His first full pull of the year. Oh, that is great to see. Made a lot of people very happy indeed. So that's another man into the pull-off. cheeky thumbs up and back to the closed pit area to cool off. Michael Winterbottom and Rob Flaherty's going bust taking to the track next here at Great Eccleston. The team had a disappointing start to the season, managing just 18 metres at Kirkbride. But this run is looking much better for the going bust. He's willing it on, but it looks to be getting dragged down there, not quite getting the boost they need, and he posts a distance of 91.24 metres. Not quite the full pull, but that's given something to build on for the rest of the season.
Well, this is the Leyland-based Jungle Rock up next. Gary Phillips looking for a rock and roll run here today. He's done a few tweaks on the tractor since its last outing at Kirkbride. Still with the L plates on though. It's worth remembering that the drivers can only really test these machines at an event. You can't test them without that great big heavy sledge to pull. Well, back out for another try is Stephen Ainsworth with the Warrior. He had to drop 6 places because of a clutch issue. Last chance saloon for the team. Full pulls are the order of the day in limited Prostock this weekend.
And that's a beautifully balanced run from Stephen. Lifting the front wheels up the whole way down. A very popular full pull there for the Warrior. Nice to hear the applause from the crowd when he came to a stop. Let's look at this one again. Working hard the whole way down, making it 9 tractors into the pull-off at the end of qualifying.
Well, here's a look at the distances from this first round of pulling.
A relieved-looking Stephen Ainsworth toes back with his pull-off spot secured. Into the pull-off and first out on the track, it's Skinny. Young Alfie Ankers behind the wheel, remember, quite a debut so far. Bouncing around, moving across the track. This is taking all of his driving skills on this one. But he keeps it in bounds for a distance of 101.73 metres. So that's the distance to beat. So let's have a look at it from the head on. Lots of work there for Alfie. This tractor is a bit of an animal. Skinny setting the bar very high there. So there you have it, 101.73 to beat. Graham Simpson, True Blue. He's leading the championship by just 2 points over second place man Stephen Ainsworth with the Warrior. Heavier sledge now though, it's looking to drag the tractors down far quicker than in qualifying. But True Blue is on song today. Feeling the weight now, he comes across the flag marking Alfie's distance. Graham takes the lead with 106.81 metres. Giles Mostyn and G-Force. Concentrating on building the boost. But it's not happening for him. Issues here for Giles. And the head marshal Joe tells him to stop, and disappointingly he posts no distance. No sign of red mist unfortunately, so next out is Ed Bateman with Major Madness. Well, he's nicely away. Good wheel speed, the tractor's nicely settled. This is looking good for Ed. Very, very good indeed actually. A final distance, 104.78, which is good for second at the moment. Matt Trow up next with Midnight Express. Now, not the same flying start as Major Madness. Still a good looking run. And I'll tell you what, I think he's been pulled down early here, but you can see the tractor is running out of steam there. The final distance for Matt, 87.5 metres. Last year's champion, Simon Woods with the Lancashire Bomber. Pulled that huge wheelie, remember, in his first pull, but this looks much better. Front end still quite high, but he's controlling it nicely. Feeling the load now, and the Lancashire Bomber is dragged down at 98.14 metres. Word from the pits is that Dark Addiction can't make it to the sledge, so next out on track will be the Warrior. But what's going on here? Stephen's having problems in the closed pit area. Now, there is a strict time limit for machines to get hooked to the sledge. Head track marshal Joe looks at his watch. But he's done it. The Warrior's running, and he's pulling onto the track. Doesn't sound quite right though. Stephen's second in the championship, trailing True Blue by just 2 points. Well, whatever the problem was, it seems to be behind him now. This is looking like a masterclass in tractor pulling. What a run! Big amount of speed as well. He needs to beat True Blue's distance of 106.81. Oh, he does it! 107.44 gives him the win in limited Prostock here at the Great Eccleston Show.
Well, thanks, Colin. This event's actually organised by the North West Tractor Pulling Club, so that's a very popular win. Well, that's back-to-back round wins for the team. Stephen sealing the victory today by just 63 centimetres. Well, he did it the hard way, dropping 6 places, then having issues before the pull-off. That's quite a win for the Warrior on their home track, and I think it means a lot. So there are the final distances, less than 1 metre between the Warrior and True Blue, and a very creditable opening performance by young Elfie Anchors on Skinny.
Steve, oh my goodness, take it in. A win, home soil. This is where it needs to happen, and it's happened.
Yeah, I weren't just prepared for it really. I didn't think it were going to start then, to be honest, but she caught her breath, which I need to do now. And
You're still in a bit shock, aren't you?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Well, that's really mixed it up at the championship. I'm going to guess without looking, you probably now stand first in the championship, so absolutely amazing.
And sure enough, Stephen takes the lead in the points, but with True Blue just 3 points adrift. Well, moving away from the stock-looking hood style of tractors, now to the custom-built modifieds. Base weight for the class is 3.5 tonnes and any engine configuration can be used as long as the weight limits are not exceeded. First out on track is Snoopy 3, driven by local lad Josh Whittingham. Always a firm crowd favourite with its 2 V12 Rolls-Royce Griffon engines. Pulling forward to take up the chain tension. Something in the region of 6,000 horsepower to play with here. Well, that's perfect balance from Snoopy 3. They're really getting this machine dialed in now. All the way to an easy looking full pull, and the crowd absolutely loving that run. On board now with Snoopy 3. What a run from this amazing tractor. Well, Josh is a third generation tractor puller and he's been driving the beast of a machine ever since he turned 18 back in 2011. Chris Knight out next with Kit. Show car chrome and paintwork on this machine, powered by a Transmarsh diesel motor taken from a tank, believe it or not. It's great to see this machine back out on track. To be fair, it's not got the power of some of the other tractors in the class, but he's after track time here to help develop the tractor further. In fact, he usually competes in the light modified category up against machines typically powered by 2 supercharged V8 motors. A single turbocharger clearly visible here. Then, unlike Snoopy 2, you'll have to build up the revs to build up the boost. You can see the sledge is rather heavy for the tractor. It's a good run nonetheless. The kit posts a distance of 71.34 metres. Aftermath now, driven by Dan Whittingham. This tractor also competes in the light modified class, but with just 2 engines. In this heavier class, the team bolt on 2 additional supercharged V8s onto the chassis. For lots more additional power and torque. Look at this, no need to build up the boost. The superchargers give instant power, and what a run for Dan! It's a full pull, so we will be having a pull-off. And here is Snoopy 3 out for that pull-off. The sledge will have been made harder to pull, ideally aiming to stop the tractors at around that 90 metres mark or so. On a hot summer's day, it can be quite a problem cooling these large motors down in time for the pull-off. It looks like they're all set. Up come the revs, gently at first, feeding the power once those big wheels are biting into the track. Well, there's a bit of a bounce there, but he pushes on through it. And the final distance for Snoopy, 96.47 metres, so that's the distance for Aftermath to beat. Josh looking quite pleased with that, deservedly so. So what can Dan do in reply? Something like 2,000 horsepower per engine here, so 8,000 in all. So we might have a bit more than Snoopy. But it also comes down to getting the weight distribution just right for the track conditions. But he's feeding in the power again. You can see the throttle flaps open up as he gets moving. But I don't think he's done it. Coming short. Oh, what a shame. Just 89.69 metres. So the win goes to Josh Whittingham with Snoopy 3. Always fan favourites. These guys certainly know how to put on a show.
Josh, he's still smiling from ear to ear. What a run in that 3.5 tonne. It locked in so quickly, did the business. Then V12s like it here at Great Eccleston.
Yeah, I know the motors they've come on good. We've done some work over it, but nothing too much. And I knew if the motors are going to run good, we worked on the tyres, and that's something we're really going to look at because we've got nowhere else to go with the horsepower. You know, we're maxed out now, so we put the effort in with the tyres. It hooked up straight away, didn't it? And it's still locked in at the end. It was still moving the sledge. You know, yeah, we know if they run together, you know, and they run at the same, that's always been our problem. We've got two engines fighting each other. If we get them running together, we knew we'd be bad to beat. But Dan's normally bad to beat. I'm glad I got the edge this time.
Well, tractors like these are a huge undertaking in terms of cost, time and transport, but it is possible to go modified tractor pulling on a much smaller scale. The mini modified class is based on a 1050 kilogram base weight and tractors running a single V8 engine. This is the B class, which is non-supercharged, but there's also an A class for tractors running supercharged engines. This is the test puller Jamie Haylock with Panic, and it's a full pull with this one. Another very well-known tractor, the All or Nothing, driven today by Shannon Barnes. Well, shed loads of power on a very short wheelbase. These are lively Larry beasts. It's a bouncy ride on this one. Bitch falling off the sledge, she pulls it away from the white line. Great driving job, but 83.48 metres means no pull-off today for All or Nothing. Ian Millar with Black Magic now. Two Predators sat atop a high tunnel ram intake on this machine. Should give enough power, but a narrow power band. Oh no, the engine's just not getting up into that power band, and he's pulled down at just 68.92. Brad Ord's Mayhem now. This is sounding much stronger, but he's keeping those revs up nicely. It's all going well. And the final pull distance there, and it's a full pull with this one. Well, two tractors make it into the pull-off, and it's Brad Ord's Mayhem now. This is looking like another strong pull here. It's going well. 90.44 is his measured distance, so that is the distance to beat. Next out is Jamie Haylock with Panic. He needs to top that 90.44 for the win today here at Great Eccleston. Well, it's going strong. Looking very good. Can he do it? Oh no, he's pulled up just short at 74.96. Moving towards the feature class for the hood-style tractors, Prostock. The class champion back in 2017 was John Nichols with Simply Red.
Looking forward to today, Tom. Good day. This is where I started tractor pulling, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, it's the best. It's the best in Europe. Yeah, really looking forward to today, Tom.
And Prostock wise, you did okay at Kirkbride. No damage, no problems.
No, we're a bit of a rough run at last run, but no, tractor's going well. We're running the smaller turbo now, and we're going to stick to that this year and just try and get it levelled out, and we'll look at putting the big turbo back on next year.
Brilliant. Now let's just move on to the little thing that you stood by. You introduced this into the team a few years ago. It started off with a petrol engine. It came from Rob van der Waal. You introduced the diesel engine into it, and you've had loads of teething problems with it.
Yeah, I think we'd lost our way a little bit with it, if truth's been on. So luckily we've got some good friends, as you know, in Holland. We sent it over there. We've put a new axle in it, and it's now beginning to find its own level and bring itself back together.
And we're taking a look at limited compact diesel next. Physically small but very lively machines. Based around small turbocharged car engines, lots of revs and lightweight can mean some very wild rides. Test puller Stampede, driven by Anthony Barnes, is one of the class favourites. The Well, it's Sam Trower with Black Smoke up next. Another strong run. He sets up the distance to beat with a 72.50. This is Compact Dragon, driven by Nathan Jones. We'll see his dad's Diesel Dragon Prostock soon. Nathan's a very experienced driver. Oh, he's pulled down a bit early there for a final distance of 56.85. Mark Holliday with Compact Deutz next. Good looking pull for Mark. Oh, but he's being pulled over to the right-hand side of the track. But he just stays in bounds with that bit of a bounce. The final distance is 78.31, so he takes the lead. Well, you can see him really working hard on this one. What a great driving job. What a great way to finish the pull as well. It's Anthony Barnes now with Stampede. These tractors can be a bit of a handful. Nicely controlled until he gets dragged over to the right-hand side. Whoa, but he keeps it in bounds and posts a distance of 91.23 to take the win in limited compact diesel. We're moving into unlimited compact diesel now, and this is Scott Murphy with Red Runt from the Simply Red team. Well, he's getting the bounce on. And it just got worse from there. Looks like a front axle took the brunt of that and gave up. Such a shame. Final distance, 45.63. Take a look at the replay again. Wow, the violence there. Now you can see just what a bucking bronco ride looks like. And the final tractor in the unlimited compact diesel, it's Matt Harpley driving Diesel Weasel. This one's showing just how it should be done. Beautifully smooth ride here. And Matt takes the win with the distance of 63.66. Well done, Matt. Moving into the Prostocks now, and first out is John Eccles with Simply Red. This is the second round of the year, with the 2018 champion Ice Bear having taken an early lead.
We made some tweaks to it last winter, saved a lot of weight on the back end, and we're still getting our heads around it. So, yeah, we had a bit of a balance issue up at Kirkbride. She got a little bit out of shape, so we'll do our best this time and keep learning.
Well, we think it's going all right, but we won't know until we actually get on the track. Hopefully we'll have another good run today. We've done some alterations and hopefully we'll be okay.
This is the thing that surprises me. You seem to be going well and you say, oh, we've had to alter it.
Oh yeah, we've got to keep trying things. Yeah, you can't stop. If you stop, somebody else will come in front of you. So you've got to keep going all the time.
5 tractors entered this weekend, and it's over to Colin in the commentary booth.
Test puller John Eccles out first then with Simply Red. John finished in second place back at Kirkbride. He'll be wanting a good run on his home track. Unfortunately, can't get the machine to boost up. Now hopefully they'll be able to drop 6 places and come out again. Oh, but that's a lot of fluid from underneath that tractor. This is last year's champion, the Ice Bear, driven by Mike Simmons today. And that's Andy Miller backing him up. The team regularly compete in Europe, so lots of experience in the Bear Essentials team. Currently leading the championship, having taken the win back at Kirkbride. Well, they're getting into the track very early there. This is a storming run. And that's a full pull. The team setting the bar very high. The sledge is set and we're in competition. This is such a competitive class and the team would dearly love to take the championship again. They've done everything right so far, and now it's up for everyone else to beat them. Panic Now, driven by Paul Haylock. Belt's tight, down comes the visor. Well, he's not got the speed of the Ice Bear, but he's getting down the track nicely. Very close to the right-hand side, drifting over to the left. pulled down there at 91.41, so no full pull there for Panic. Gareth Jones with Diesel Dragon. We saw Gareth's son Nathan with his Mini-Me compact diesel earlier. Now he's on backup duties. Now how will the full-size machine go? This is a Valtra-based machine and a very tough competitor. Sounding very strong indeed. You can hear the boost really coming in nicely there. You see those front wheels dancing above the surface. That is a fantastic looking pull. He looks over and yes, that is a full pull. That means we have a pull-off. The crowd like that. They want to see these tractors back out on track. Gareth quite happy with that pull then. Ted Nicholson driving Rough Justice, another very strong contender. Ted's a previous champion in Prostock, pulling both in the UK and in Europe. He wants to get that British title back from the Bears this year. He took third back at Kirkbride behind Ice Bear and Simply Red. What can Ted do this time out? Visor down, concentration then. Up comes the boost. The tractor starts to move forward. Good wheel speed as well. And he's absolutely flying. It looks like there's no stopping the machine here. And that is a great looking full pull from Rough Justice. Right, let's have a look at the replay and you can see this tractor is perfectly balanced on the pull. All the way down the track, absolutely no issues at all. Ted sending a very clear message indeed to the Bears and the Dragons. And you know what? I think the crowd enjoyed that one as well. Simply Red, John Eccles on his second attempt. Now, have they fixed the problem? John won the title 2 years ago, so the machine can do the business. John's a very experienced driver and a real favourite here at Great Eccleston. This looks much better for the case-based tractor. Powering down the track. Quick glance across at the flag. And yes, a full pull for Simply Red. So that's 4 in the pull-off. Well done, John. Happy man indeed. And appreciated by the crowd. Lots of tricks from the Belgian sledge clan to make the sledge harder to pull. Mike Simmons with Ice Bear first out to fight the sledge. Now, sounding very strong indeed. Oh, no. Something's gone wrong there. Comes to an abrupt stop, drops off the boost and the wheels came down hard. Just 55.49 for the Ice Bear. They will not be happy with that at all. The Dragon's up next, and it's Gareth Jones with Diesel Dragon. He's just seen the Ice Bear falter. That must give him confidence to get onto the podium. That's Nathan out front, backing him up to the sledge. Nathan and his sister Olivia, both accomplished drivers in their own classes. All eyes now, though, are on Gareth. Now, if you look carefully as he launches, you'll see him slipping the clutch. Got to keep that turbo boosting. He's going strong. He's starting to feel the load now, though. And he's being pulled down, but it's 95.65 metres. He's in the lead at the moment with just 2 tractors left to run. So what can Ted Nicholson do with Rough Justice? The bar set very high by Gareth with that 95.65. Seeing his right foot hovering over the independent rear brakes. A very strong run from a very strong tractor. Looks like he's passed the checkered flag to beat Gareth's distance and take the lead. Final distance for Ted, 96.62 metres, into the number 1 spot by less than a metre. Final tractor in this pull-off then, Simply Red, driven by John Eccles, the only man who can ruin Ted's day. It all comes down to this, the final pull. So here we go then, up come the revs. The tractor starts to move forward again, good wheel speed, getting some momentum going. The tractor working really hard indeed. Drifting out a bit to the right, but he's got it under control. But it's slowing down now. Dragged down at 88.45. And by the sound and look of it, the machine's not running cleanly again. The win going to Ted Nicholson with rough justice. And hard-fought podium places as well for Gareth Jones and John Eccles. That win puts Ted ahead of the Ice Bear in the points with 3 more points rounds to go.
Ted, Great Eccleston and another win.
That's it. Say well pleased, Tom. We've made a fair few changes in the winter and we're slowly getting our heads around it. So yeah, well pleased.
Disappointed Mike couldn't do a really good run and you could really see where you were at. He had a bit of turbo problems.
Yeah, looked like Mike had a bit of charger trouble. So yeah, it'd be nice to get a good fair and square run with him. Say things were in our favour there a bit today, I expect.
Well, we'll see you all again. We've got 2 rounds in August, so it's still all to play for.
That's it, indeed. It's all wide open. There's loads of good, strong tractors. Say Gareth had a storming run. He was only a whisker back, and say it's anybody's this year.
And the points show a 2-point lead now for Rough Justice. Looks like it's going to be another very close championship for 2019.
Time for a few demo pulls now before we move into our next points class. We've seen Snoopy 3, well this is Team Whittingham's newest machine, Snoopy 4. 2 V12 aero engines again, but this time running on methanol. The tractor competes in the heavy modified class, tipping the scales at 4.2 tonnes. We're really getting the sledge moving here, getting a bit close to the white line. But a fine full pull nonetheless, and great preparation for the team before their upcoming Mitas Euro Cup competition with the ETPC. Well, we're going to have to take another look at that run. Everything coming together in perfect harmony. Stunning run there from Kevin Whittingham and Snoopy 4. Green flag from the marshal, bringing those revs up, and you can see the steering effort going into this one as that machine drifts to the right and finally showered by dirt. Putting in a demo run today in his Superstock tractor, this is the very well known Just Smokey, driven by Dave Jones. And we caught up with him in the pits.
Yeah, we're crop farming down in Warwickshire, covering 1,100 odd hectares of cereals, oilseed rape, and we take it pretty seriously and works first. But as you know, we've been pulling a long time, and when we get the opportunity, we always like to support.
Brilliant, and we've got these limited light Superstocks here this weekend with us. They're a completely different animal to what you've got on board, but a great little class for the country.
Oh, they're fantastic. Now in Europe, obviously they're taking off. Real good range of vehicles, brands, all colours of machines. Some guys in pulling that are getting into alcohol. Making a couple of thousand horsepower. Should in theory be slightly easier to maintain. They're running sort of half the horsepower of these big supers, but real good entry class for alcohol, and I'll help them and like others well as much as they can.
We'll be seeing that new limited Superstock class shortly, but this is Dave's full-spec Superstock tractor. Methanol fuel, 3 turbochargers and something like 4,000 brake horsepower. Well, the wheels are up in the air. And a storming full pull for Just Smokey. There'll be over 15 of these monsters competing at the next round here at Great Eccleston in August. But as he says, Dave is sitting this year out from full competition. And this is the limited Superstock class, brand new and looking to build the numbers as the year progresses.
Kev, welcome to Great Eccleston. It's good to see you here with your new machine.
Yes, thank you.
What's the plan for today? We saw Jade on a bit of a test and tune yesterday. You had it at Kirkbride and Brockett. So who's on the seat today?
Me. I'm on the seat. We've got it mended.
So you're going to break it?
Yeah.
No, hopefully not.
Hopefully not. No. Hopefully get down the track.
You took ownership of this machine from the French team. We've got a lot of light Superstock tractors here. Stephen Charles has got a new one built. There's the 2 French contingencies. So it's a great little class for Great Eccleston.
Yeah, so they're all learning today. They're all to run. So see who can get to the end first, I think.
First out in limited Superstock is Thunderstruck, driven by Stephen Charles. Stephen brought the machine over from Holland at the start of the year. It was previously run as European made. Very much a testing year for this brand new class, and of course a brand new tractor to Stephen. Only had a couple of pulls with it, but it's looking promising so far. These tractors are similar to the Prostocks, but they run on alcohol or methanol fuel as it's known today. Must be a proud moment for Stephen. This is only his second event driving this awesome machine. .69 metres is the distance for Stephen. One of our visitors from across the water now, it's Froggy from the CDH pulling team, all the way from France. The team aren't competing for BTPA points, but they still want to take the win on the day. Now, lots of wheel speed there. Methanol fuel, so no black smoke, remember. Looks like a good pull here. But short of Stephen's distance. It's 88 metres there for Froggy. Ultimate Deer next to take to the track. This used to run as Froggy, but it's now owned and driven now by Kevin Howarth. He shares the driving duties with daughter Jade and of course long-term supporters of the NWTPC. Obviously based around a John Deere, and it's quite a learning curve for the team. Once again, huge wheel speed there for Kevin right on the get-go. Nice wheels up balance. This is looking like a fantastic pull. Keeping it within the boundaries, a storming pull, 109.79, puts him well in the lead at the moment. Well done, Kevin. Looks like that run took quite a bit out of him though. Warrior next, another one of our very welcome guests from France. Well, it all started well, but I think there's a problem. Off the power early, just 51.76 metres for the second member of the CDH pulling team. Our test puller, Stephen Charles, back out on Thunderstruck. As test puller, he managed 96.69 metres, but he needs a full pull if he's going to force a pull-off with the Ultimate Deer. Oh, that turbo doesn't seem happy. Sounds like the wastegate's opening all the time. Not what he wanted, being dragged down early to 91.58, but that's good for second place. The win and the points go to Kevin Howarth with Ultimate Deer. Stephen Charles and Thunderstruck take second, with Nick de Hoff taking third on Froggy. This is one class that's going to gain momentum very fast, I think. And that's three very proud men on the podium there at Great Eccleston.
Kevin, great feeling here on home soil, UK soil now, taking the win.
No, nice to do. Yes, adrenaline still not run down yet.
Still kicking in?
Still kicking in, yeah. Still a buzz. But, yeah, enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Well done, mate.
Good run, I think. You know, well, nice and straight. So, the second attempt, not bad.
With the two guest teams not scoring BTPA points, the two home teams now tie, but there's still 3 more rounds to go. Light Modified now, and after one round, it's Aftermath leading the points. The Light Modified class is based around the 2.5 tonne weight bracket. The tractors are usually powered by a couple of supercharged V8 motors. First machine out is Aftermath, driven by Dan Whittingham. This tractor also competes in the heavier modified class by bolting extra engines onto the chassis, and they've done well in Europe at that level. Now, no boost to build on these machines. Open the throttle and go he does. Wheels in the air to 101.11 metres for Aftermath. Let's see that one from behind. Oh, spectacular stuff. What a run there for Dan. kit, now driven by Chris Knight. We saw him tested with the heavier 3.5 tonne class earlier today. Still quite a new machine for Chris and still in development. He's not expecting to match Aftermath just yet. Well, totally different power plant in this machine. Once saw service in a tank, would you believe? Well, it's a slow, but it's a steady run, and it's still pulling up most of the way down the track, eventually coming to a rest at 74 metres. A great-looking tractor, and already a favourite with the fans. The winner, of course, Dan Whittingham.
Dan, taking the win in the light modified class. Not much competition, the other guys are over in Holland, but really good for your points championship, isn't it, that?
Yeah, it is good for the points, and we had a right good run. It locked in, hooked up, and come out the far end, so yeah, it was good. We're happy with it.
Sledge team has set a mean old setting. We sort of asked them for a bit lighter, really, but no disrespect to them, but it meant it really tested you, didn't it?
It did test us, and that's what we want, because, you know, it's as if we were competing against them, you know, in Holland or wherever, and it's a competition setting, so it's good.
Well, brilliant. Best of luck. We've got really good points now, and we'll look forward to August for the rest of the championship.
And as Dan explained, a lot of the competitors are actually competing in Holland this weekend for the ETPC Mitas Eurocup points. The final points round for Mitas Eurocup Light Modified will be here at Great Eccleston in August, with over 15 of Europe's top machines in competition under the floodlights. You're looking at a sneak preview of some of those tractors in action. And with the ETPC Championship not yet decided, this is going to be a really tight competition. The plan is for all the UK drivers to compete in this huge field. Although not challenging for the championship, they would love to beat some of Europe's best on the night. And that's not all. The event will also host the final round of the ETPC Mitas Eurocup Superstock Championship, the ultimate stock appearing class. But with 4,000 horsepower on tap, they're anything but stock. Again, the championship is still up for grabs and will be decided here at Great Eccleston. So make sure you join us next time for this 3-day extravaganza.